whole move. Didn't quite do a full complete V. We started getting rejection here. And we would start seeing a supply zone right in this area. And this is how price likes to move. They initiate the selling program, and then they come back and retest the supply zones. So that's all trading is really, or price is just going from supply and trying to meet the demand, or the demand trying to meet the supply. So a lot of times you guys will hear me be heavy into concepts because it gives you an understanding of the Evans flow in the market. So supply met a demand down here. So demand takes the price up. At this point, this price point, there's a new supply or there's new sellers, and it's looking to go ahead and push it down until it meets a new demand zone. So that's a little introduction to supply and demand. You can see this on the chart is when you see these big, nice candles coming out of supply, support and resistance zones. You'll see a huge candle that breaks a level. So some of my more veteran traders may know it as an order block. This also could be a supply and demand zone, but typically you can start looking for that. You'll look for an area where there's a big candle that pushed down and it starts the trend. And if you see the trend reverse and you want to know, hey, where would this up move? I see this big, nice downside move. Where would this up move stop? Well, if it's the first time it came down, you can look for it to come back and retest this big candle, this order block. Once it retests it, this is where we're going to be looking for an entry. So I'm throwing a couple of different elements at you, but this is an entry based off of supply and demand. This is a pretty good strategy. So far we kind of just dove into some top-down analysis, building a bias of which direction we may think the trade may be. And then we kind of zoomed in and did some extra analysis studies of things like supply and demand. What is supply and demand? So to nail in or to kind of bring everything full circle, I'll tell you guys about the supply and demand concept. So we'll look at, say you're a owner of a convenience store. For some odd reason, the pandemic stopped your supply. It stopped the bottles of water from coming to your city. You're the only store with cases of water left. That's going to start your supply, for people to start taking your supply. The number of bottles of water you have is going to start dropping. As it gets lower and lower, now as a business owner, you know that it's a rarity. This price is compared to everywhere else, the fact that there is no water, or if there is a little bit of water, the price of that bottle of water is going to start going up. Similar to like the iPhone when it's first released. Let's say physical metals, the less diamonds there are, the more the price. So as you get less, then now you get, this side is going to be you, the business owner, increasing the price of water. You still have a couple of cases, or you have a stock of the water. Everybody's kind of frantic. The price of the water is going up, going up, going up. We get back up here to this area where there's supply. The warehouse calls and say, hey, we have more water coming into the town. Nobody worry. Slowly, we're going to start giving it to other locations. At this point, everybody's full. No one's thirsty anymore. Everybody know the water's going to come back. There's signs. Price kind of dips a little bit because you have competition there. In the trading world, this is going to be profit taking. Say, hey, we ran the price up. Let's take a little money off the top. The big boys do that and the price comes down a little bit. Now, the bottles of water still hasn't gotten to the city, and people are refrigerators are empty of bottles of water. So they don't care what price at this time. They just want to follow the the phrase or the craze of I need a bottle of water. Even though I know that water's coming next week, I have to have some water. Kind of like the toilet paper issue we had with Corona. Everybody bought paper, prices went up. Bam, you get a last rash. Everybody's panicking, buying tissue at crazy amounts or water bottles at crazy amounts, and bam, the supply comes back in. And now you're gonna see other stores have it. Price gonna drop. Everybody's okay. You have it at $10 a bottle of water. Now that I got my stock in, I'm gonna sell them at $9. Now that I have my